Hi guys, welcome back. In today's video, we will be discussing the Q2 FY25 result of Ethos Limited. Okay, both the result as well con. Let us see how the company is done. So before I go on to talk about Ethos, today has been quite a, it's quite a big day for us. I would say both me and Rajushi is because we finally launched our website live, right? So we are quite happy about it. The website name is equityresearchprogram.com. So I will link it in the description and also the tweet below. So the reason to do this website was like going forward, all the products that we have, all kind of courses that we have will be launched over here. We used to earlier do this on Google Drive, as you must have seen, right? We did that financial workshop on Google Drive, we did, but there were a couple of problems, like people, some other people would get access, right? So all of these minute things we wanted to try to improve it, and that's why we started the website. I mean, see, the entire thing, it's like a step-by-step process hum kar rahe, as you know, just two of us in the entire team, so everything is taking time. Everything will happen at its own pace, but overall, it's quite exhilarating. It's quite, we are just too happy about it. So yeah, anyways, we're going to be starting today. We're going to be talking about Ethos ka call, what went down and how the result has been, right? Just a couple of minutes talking about the business model. So as you all know, Ethos sells watches. आपका wrist watch जो है, they sell that watches, specifically आपका Swiss, this ultra luxury premium watches that are there, especially above 1 lakh category, that those are the watches that they sell. And these people are the authorized dealer over here in India, right? For certain watches, they have the exclusive rights to sell it in India. So this is a major part of the revenue. The second part of the revenue comes, again, a small part of the revenue comes by selling pre-used watches, या आपका second hand watches जैसा बोलते हो, that they are the only authorized dealer again over here also, because when you talk about your second hand watches, it becomes very important, right, to verify and to make sure you're getting the right kind of product and selling it also, right? All of these things. Now over the years we've seen, right, one thing is आपका ये good 25% का growth engine है, and they've always told कि we will grow by 25%. That is what they've guided for. So if you look at Q2 का revenue grew by 27% on a year-on-year basis. So whatever they've guided for, they've grown exactly according to that really. So no problem in terms of growth rate. Now the second thing comes over here is operating leverage. You see that the net profit that is there, or आपका profit after tax that is there, that grew by only 14%. So why did the company miss out on operating leverage? What has happened over here? So a couple of reasons over here. If you look at the entire H1, that is Q1 and Q2, right? If you look at it, first of all, if you saw in Q1 में थोड़ा सा little bit growth rate थोड़ा कम हुआ था, because if you remember Q1 में there was this there was heat waves, there was elections, right? As a result, a lot of walk-ins that we would see, the walk-ins were we had less number of walk-ins, so that was one of the primary reason. In the second half of H1, that is in Q2, we see that Shraddh season is that is when the Shraddh season starts. It's an inauspicious time now, so people don't do a lot of buying over here, and of course monsoon season bhi hai, because of which we see usually Q2 is a bit of a lean quarter, a seasonally lean quarter आप बोल सकते हो for the entire year. So in spite of these two reasons also, they've done 25% का growth. So overall the sales growth, the entire result is not bad. But the main reason for this profit, the operating leverage to to get a miss, was a couple of reasons. The first reason is उनका जो all of the Swiss watches that are there, they buy it in that CHF, which is the Switzerland ka currency. So there is this fluctuation between the CHF and INR ka rate. So one is because of this currency ka exchange ka वजह से they have taken a lot of impact. Even if you look at their income statement, if you look on a QOQ basis, अगर आप देखते हो Q1 से Q2, you see the inventory का goods that is there. Inventory का prices that are there has been up literally, like I would say 100%. Like it's been up over there. I think 33 से 63 in that range. Inventory का rise has been huge. So now also think about this. Q3 का आ रहा है, Q3 का season आ रहा है, right? So for Q3 का season, you always have to front load the inventory first of all. Beforehand you have to do, and on top of that आपका ये CHF का INR का fluctuation चल रहा है, because of which you end up paying a lot more compared to your average, right? इसके वजह से क्या हुआ, आपका PAT में थोड़ा सा the PAT didn't grow at a faster rate compared to your sales. Okay, in fact they've also given in their PPT कि let's say if the CHF or INR का fluctuation नहीं होता, let's say if the CHF का rate was as same as how it were in Q1, अगर वो होता तो you would see that the PAT growth would have been 32% also. ठीक है? So this is one thing. The other couple of reasons, if you see, as you know, Ethos has this plans to open 25 stores this year. Okay, so they opened 12 stores in this year, in this H1. Sorry, in H1 they've opened 12 stores, and in H2 they're planning to open another 13 stores, which puts them in the growth rate, whatever they have planned, which puts them into the store expansion rate. Now since all of these stores also आपका सारा cost upfront होता है, right? Because when you're putting up the store, you have to train the employees before, and your employee benefit का वो expenses up होता है. Then a couple of their existing stores are also undergoing renovations, right? And we also have to consider over here, ये तो उसका एक बड़ा problem यहाँ पे होता है. Since these people are selling a luxury watches, right? A premium set of watches, they also have to be in locations, in such as like Phoenix Mall, जो थोड़ा premium place है, या Geo Mall, Geo World Plaza, these. And because they're also with certain brands, when they're getting this exclusive rights to sell certain wrist watches, ना उनका contract में ही रहता है कि like you have to do it in a premium location, that you can't open your store in anything. वो it will be written. In fact उनका जो brand है ना वो Rimowa का, they sell that luggages, they have the license to sell Rimowa का luggage. You would see that उनका एक ही store है अभी तक, वो है Geo World Plaza में. Even there उसका contract में लिखा था कि like you have to open our stores only in premium, ultra premium locations over here. So इसके वजह से क्या होता है, और एक दिक्कत आती है in store expansion. Not just that, your rental cost that is there with Ethos is relatively higher, you see, than any other companies. Is because of this underwritten contract they have with certain brands to which they license. And of course just the nature of the business model is such, you can't really put it in places, in normal places, right? So all of these reasons combined, you will see, is the reason why you see that EBITDA margins भी जो है उनका has been a bit impacted. जो 13% था last Q1 में, this time it is 11.9. Couple of reasons just to reiterate. One is the CHF and INR का fluctuation, which is the main reason. Second is आपका इतना store opening कर रहे हो, like 12 stores आपने open किया in H1 and 13 stores आप open कर रहे हो in H2. As a result, all of these cost is front end. This is the reason. And the third is जो existing stores है वहाँ पर भी renovation हो रहा है, ठीक है. Now talking about their existing brands, उनका like in the watches they have one category, then they have bags, and they're also getting into this luxury jewelry called Messika. As you all know, Rimowa absolutely doing well, right? Because उनका जो पहला store था Geo World Plaza में, I think in 1 month only it got break even and turned profitable also, that store. Okay, Messika, which is another luxury jewelry brand, for this the first store will be opened in Jan of next year, this upcoming year जो है, first store will be opened at Chanakya Mall in Delhi. So overall store expansion is right, everything is going great. Just the only problem यहाँ पे सिर्फ एक ही था, that operating leverage has been missed, that is it. But overall the business is going in the right direction, there is no problem, ठीक है. इनफैक्ट उन्होंने बोला था कि like in the month of October, because October, November and December is in Q3, right? And result कब आए, November में. So they told in call also कि like October का month has been the highest ever revenue they have recorded for in the history ever, for Ethos. In fact October का अगर आप month on month growth देखते हो, that is October of this year with October of last year, you see that the sales growth has been 47%. So what do you see, like a lot of you know कि like आगे जाके शायद Q3 में और भी तगड़ा result करेगा ये, ठीक है. The only I would say the only one thing is उनका जो they have acquired, of course as usual, उनका बहुत सारे Swiss brands they are acquiring. Favre Loba, as you all know, to which they signed to be an exclusive, they wanted to hold a stake over here. ये Favre Loba का launch, it will be launched in Favre Loba का जो launch है, the global launch has been inaugurated in August already, and going forward India में ये launch होगा in the month of Jan, that is the upcoming Jan है हमारा. It will be launched over here. First it will be launched with उनका Swiss embassy, and going forward उनका बहुत सारे promotional event है. But from Jan this Favre Loba will be again available, all the collection will be available. Just the only another thing I would tell over here is उनका अगर आप देखते हो, recently there has been a little bit of how do I put this, a little bit of talks, like government of India has are in talks to increase the GST. So अगर आप देखते हो अभी तक जो luxury goods पे GST है, especially when you talk about wrist watches, right? So this wrist watches का GST that is there, it is at if it is 22,000 or above, it is at 18%, ठीक है. अभी the government is planning कि like let's say whatever the watches that are there, the price about 22K का category, we will increase the GST from 18 to 28%, right? So there has been a little bit of a confusion as to like would it affect the demand, would it affect the prices, how do you see going forward? And management ने ये बोला है कि like let's say if this GST does increase, we do not see any brands not coming to India. Let's say they wouldn't stop from hosting in India, or let's say coming and selling in India. We are not seeing any kind of demand ka breakdown from their end. Second, they are in talks with the representatives of the government to not to do so also, because it could impact. The third is, let's say if they do do increase the GST, then they would take an 8% price increase, which would effectively net to net, it wouldn't affect their margins. So again, उन्होंने इतना ही बोला GST के बारे में, but they are also telling कि like, it is unnecessary to talk about it right now, because when and if it will happen, let's say this plan to increase the GST from 18 to 28% if it goes, we will see at that time what to do. But as of now, we don't want to entertain this, right? Because if you look at one thing about Ethos is all of their product category, especially from last year, since they discarded that under 50,000 and under 1 lakh a category, that range that they've completely discarded, they have gone to above 1L category only, right? So it becomes a bit imperative for them to to know what to do, because Sara ka Sara bhi watches jo hai has been above 1 lakh category. So these are the only two things I would say as to like why the operating leverage has been a miss, and also about this GST. But overall, if you look, business has been going in the right direction. Really stunning and fabulous set of growth, like I told you, especially in this environment, right? Especially in Q2, if you're doing like 26% ka growth on a year-on-year basis, quite great. Operating leverage, I would have liked obviously the operating leverage to be over here, but the fact that operating leverage has been a bit miss is I would say is a bit, not I wouldn't say disappointing, but a bit sad. Other than that, if you look, volume growth has been 17%. Volume growth is great. SSG अगर आप देखते हो, इनका SSG कितना है? SSG है same store sales growth is also at 15.5. So volume growth भी high double digit में है, SSG भी high double digit में है. Store expansion जो है, because store expansion also, like I told, 25 stores that they're opening on track, right? So as a B2C company, you would need both SSG भी चाहिए, you need the store expansion also, because आगे जाके growth जो है, that will come from the new stores. But you also need the existing stores to perform well, because why? Because if the existing stores don't perform well, how will you get the money to run your business, right? How will you get the money to sustain the operations so that you can open new stores also? That also becomes very important. So both of this is there. We are also seeing ASP जो है, ASP is also increased from last time in Q2 it was 1.87 lakhs. Abhi average selling price is 2.16 lakhs. So overall everything is good, everything is great. Let us hope कि like Q3 में this record growth that we are seeing, it continues even for the month of November and December. We see more than 25% का growth rate, and hopefully we also see an operating leverage, because the CHF and INR का जो भी ये fluctuations in terms of currency, it comes back to normal, and we see that we see that impact ना रहे. So that is the only thing. Overall great set of numbers, great call, absolutely great call. It's nothing to worry. The only thing I would say, I guess the only thing that I didn't like in the call, if I had to tell, is the management had told कि like going forward उनका con call जो है, they won't do it every quarter, they will do it half yearly, ठीक है? So probably just like SME का stocks जो है, which happens, the call happens only in Q2 and Q4, that is how we are going to see. I think that is a little bit of a bummer कि like why would you stop doing the calls all of a sudden? So that is the only thing I would say I didn't like about the call. But overall, other than that, very fab set of call. The company's directionally अगर आप देखते हो, business is doing perfectly fine. It is in the right direction in terms of growing. And the second thing is, if you talk about Ethos, another thing, they have this plan, right, that they will start selling, in the next 10, after 10 years, every year they will start selling, I think 1 lakh or 10 lakh watches, something of that sort. So that also they're on track only to do that. So overall, great numbers, good numbers, not great I wouldn't say, good numbers and good con. Okay? So that's it about Ethos, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.